Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Brady Joker here. Welcome back to another video. I'm in college now, so here I am. We're filming in the dorm. So yeah, August. Welcome back to what I watched in August. This was a big old month, guys. This was a big month. So let's not prolong it any further. Let's get straight into the picks. Alright, so surprisingly enough, number 12 is going to be the original Naked Gun. So I like Airplane. I really loved Airplane. However, the comedy in this movie just didn't really work with me some of the times. It had me laughing a bunch of other times, like the whole baseball sequence. I mean, that was incredible. But for, a lot of the jokes were hit or miss. I thought it was a good, fine comedy. Nothing too, crazy in my opinion. Number 11 is going to go to Unforgiven. I thought this was, this was actually pretty much my introduction to Westerns. I've never really seen any Westerns, believe it or not. And this was a good introduction. In my opinion, it wasn't anything that amazing. I guess maybe Westerns aren't my thing right now. Maybe I gotta warm into them. But, I started with a pretty classic Clint Eastwood film, and I think it was good. There were a lot of moments that I was pretty shocked about. There were a lot of character decisions that I was pretty impressed by, and the more the movie went on, the more I actually liked it. But unfortunately, this just isn't going to be one that I remember that much. Alrighty, number 10 is going to go to Weapons. The big new horror movie that everybody's talking about. Everybody wants to go see Weapons. Zach Cregger came out with Barbarian in 2022, which I thought was pretty mid. And last year we had Longlegs, which I actually thought was pretty bad, if I'm being honest. So modern horror is just something that, I'm pretty harsh on. But believe it or not, I actually had a great time with Weapons. There were a lot of creepy imagery that I really enjoyed, and a lot of pretty creepy scenes. I also really like the way the film is structured, giving you each of the characters, different sections. I really like that. Unfortunately, parts of the explanation I'm not huge on. I don't really like what actually is going on in the film. I would have liked a more kind of realistic explanation, if I'm being honest, because I like the more real, the realism of the first couple sections where things, have horror elements, but things still feel pretty grounded in reality. The last act kind of took some weird turns that didn't particularly work for me, and that's okay. I still had a good time with the movie. I enjoyed it. I definitely recommend it. Number 9 is going to go to Platoon. This is a classic war film that after watching Apocalypse Now, I was begged by my family to watch, and it's not nearly as good as Apocalypse Now, unfortunately. Now, I'm not trying to compare this film to Apocalypse Now. It needs to be its own separate thing, but in my opinion, this film just lacked kind of a story. In my opinion, you just kind of get dropped down into war with these guys, and that's about all the movie is, in my opinion. There's no real objective, there's no real goal, you're just kind of there with them. In my opinion, Charlie Sheen's character, Chris, this dude barely has any real developments by the beginning to the end of the movie, in my opinion. He felt like kind of the same person he did at the beginning and end of the film. Obviously, Willem Dafoe is fantastic in this. He's so good, and his character is the best part about it, but, in my opinion, it's a good, damn near great film that I had a good time with, but personally just never really got that invested and that emotionally connected to the characters because there really wasn't much of a story to latch onto, in my opinion. Alrighty, at number 8 is going to be the new Naked Gun. I found myself laughing harder at this movie than I was in the original. I think it's just because I prefer Liam Neeson in this role. His kind of more serious and more tough demeanor mixed with his comedic elements is just comedy gold, in my opinion. He's just so good at delivering jokes, and that punchline just hits so hard just because of how serious Liam Neeson usually is. I think it's hilarious. At the end of the day, this is just a slapstick comedy at its finest, in my opinion. I think it holds up to the original Airplane, in my opinion. I think I just had a great time with this movie. We just kind of needed this collectively, everybody. All right, number 7 is going to go to Good Morning Vietnam. Yeah, man, Robin Williams, what a treasure. I think looking back on this film retrospectively after his passing just hits so much harder and makes this movie's stupid. It was a false alarm. False alarm. We're good. All right. Holy crap. All right, Good Morning Vietnam. What I was saying earlier, good lord. Looking back on this movie after Robin Williams passing is just, it really impacts this movie so much more because there's just so many scenes of him just making people laugh. There's this one scene that I really loved where there's these crying kids and he just starts making them laugh and he cheers them up. And that's just what he would do for the rest of his life and his legacy. Like, he just brings so much joy to people. So looking back on this movie where he's just this great guy making people laugh, it really hits you hard. And not even just that, the story in this movie is also just really good as well. I really was engaged through most of it. I was emotionally invested with it. I really wanted this dude to succeed. So with that being said, I had a great time with this. I really enjoyed it. All right, number 6 is going to go to Ford v Ferrari. This was one of the remainder of the big year of 2019 that, you know, I've been meaning to check out for a while. And this was way better than I thought it would be. I just really like Christian Bale in this. Man, Christian Bale is just like one of those actors who just like, no matter what role it is, he just always puts in so much effort and just delivers some great acting. And there's no exception to that statement here. It is so entertaining. It is paced really well. Like, it did not really feel that long despite being nearly 2.5 hours, if not more than 2, I don't remember. But yeah, man, it's just a good, fun, this is what F1 should have been, because this knocks F1 out of the park. I was just really invested into seeing this, you know, this guy, you know, on his come up, and him and Matt Damon just working together to try to make the best car possible, try to make the best racing decisions possible. And I had a blast with it. I did. Number 5, Saving Private Ryan. I know I might get some hate for, you know, not, you know, absolutely adoring and loving this movie, claiming it to be one of the best war films. I don't even know if I would put this in my top 10 war films. It gets messy when you're, you know, deciding what counts as a war film, because like, do I count Schindler's List as a war film? Do I count Doctor Strangelove as a war film? You know, there's many different factors when putting war as a genre, you know. But this movie, man, it's great. It's obviously still great. This kind of just like set the formula for like a bunch of war films coming in the future. Like, this is like the most formulaic war film, and yet it still pulls it off really well to where I'm very invested into this movie. There's very likable and endearing characters in this that you just want to root for. There's so many great moments in this movie. The whole final act is really good. There's pretty good emotional beats. They personally didn't hit me as hard as I would have liked, but still got emotionally invested. Might be my favorite Tom Hanks performance out there personally that I've seen. While I do think Spielberg is a bit overrated as a director, because I think his direction is just a little bit bland in some movies, he does do a good job with this movie, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Number 4, Dog Day Afternoon. This might be one of the best scripts of the 70s. I don't know what Sidney Lumet, I don't know. I don't know what they do to make the scripts so freaking good in their movies, but holy crap. Just amazing stuff here, because he did 12 Angry Men too. We're just able to focus in on this one location, this one bank, and focus mainly on Al Pacino here, who delivers one of his best performances of all time. And you never get bored. You're always engaged. And yet you make these bank robbers, or more so just Al Pacino, so likable, so human, so human, and just so real and authentic. Now, if I did have to complain a little bit, I wish we did get a little bit more of the other characters in the bank. Like, I wish we got more Sal. I kind of wanted to know more about him. I wanted to dive more into his psyche. But where it stands, I had a great time with this movie. Incredible final act here. So much tension is built throughout this entire movie leading to that final act. And I really enjoyed it. All right, big three. Number 3, Lahane. What a beast. What a beast of a film. Technically, it's really good. Incredible stuff here. All 3 performances here are just so good. The concept of it alone, it takes place in one day. And, the whole premise is, how do our characters start out the day, and then as you progress, what leads them to that big climactic finale? What does a person's day look like to end up where they are at the end of the day? And man, this movie will hit you like a brick. It hit me. I do have some script issues with this film, unfortunately, because while these characters do feel really real, I wish we got a little bit more of them being like friends to one another. Because they talk shit to each other, the whole movie. They're always just so mean to each other. I wish we got a little bit more heart in their conversations. I think it would have added to the dramaticness and the emotion of that final minute of the film. But there's just so much to say about Lahane that I can't fit it all into this tiny little, what I watched video, that I actually might write a whole review on this one because I think it deserves it. Number 2, Paris, Texas. Boy, oh boy, do I just hate movies where it makes me feel like the whole world is ending and everything I ever loved and care about is gonna be gone, just like that. This movie, the night I watched it, I don't know why, it just hit me like a brick. It just really bummed me out, man. Especially midway through the movie. Yeah, that final act is really good. But in my opinion, the second act, where, Travis is, he's just getting back to the house. He's, talking to people and his son. And it's just oh, man. So sad. It really bummed me out. I don't know why. And yeah, of course, that final act is so good. It has one of the most kind of raw, conversations I've ever seen, that it just, it takes so many roller coasters of emotions, and it's incredible stuff here. I went into this film pretty much completely blind, and I'm so glad I did, because the emotions, I think, wouldn't have hit me as hard as if I kind of knew what was, going on in the film. Also, goes without saying, film looks incredible. It's, one of its trademarks, absolutely gorgeous colors, in and out of the film. It's beautiful. Just amazing stuff here that I could not keep my eyes off of. But number 1 is City of God. No question, this is easily the film that I watched this month that made me, think about it the most. I was thinking about this film days and days after I'd finished it. The way it's structured, all of its violence, its humanity at the center of it, it's just a beast of a film. On a technical standpoint, this is genuinely one of the best films I've ever seen. It is so flawless in so many regards. The writing is incredible, the way that characters mirror each other, the way that their arcs progress through the movie, the way the characters start and finish, it's incredible. Now, unfortunately, there is just one scene in the movie that I really don't like personally, and I think there were ways to work around it. I know this is kind of it's a true story, so you kind of have to get it all, but man, it's genuinely one of the most disturbing scenes I've ever seen in a film. I mean, I just watched Mother last night, Darren Aronofsky. That'll be in my September video, and also my Darren Aronofsky ranking video, which will be up soon when I see Caught Stealing and the others. But anyways, And if you've seen Mother, you know about the final act of that movie. And I think this one scene in City of God blows Mother out the window. I'm sorry. That's just me though. This movie is horrific. It makes you bite your nails. It makes you on the edge of your seat because you just don't know when the violence is going to start or when it's going to take a nosedive. You don't know when the character is going to snap. You don't know when they're going to say something that'll upset somebody else. It's incredible. And I freaking loved it. All right, we're going to do the rewatches now. Don't know how many there are. All right, number 7, Tenet. This was easily like the worst Nolan movie now. Like back in my ranking Nolan, my video that I made 2 years ago, I think I had this maybe 4 spots from the bottom. Like maybe at number 8 or 9, I can't remember. Oh, the point is now, this would be dead last. Like this would be bottom. Like I don't know. This movie is not that great. It's pretty bad actually. I hate using this term, but if there was a single movie that I could coin the term, it insists upon itself. Tenet is this movie. It is so up its own ass, the whole movie. It takes itself so seriously with such a dumb and ridiculous concept that the way the characters speak, their dialogue is so robotic, it's so serious. There's so little humanity in the way these characters talk. They feel like they're written by AI that I can't take it seriously. I couldn't take this movie seriously. Now, of course, there are things I really do like about this movie. I do actually think, all things considered, Robert Pattinson is the best actor in this film, but I don't even think this is near his best. He's freaking better in Goblet of Fire. I also do really like the cinematography. Film looks incredible. So many of the fight sequences are so well choreographed, and it kept me engaged. I also really like the score. Really like the score in this film. But outside of that, man, the villain is so cartoonishly evil that it made me laugh sometimes, his dialogue. I genuinely just couldn't take this movie serious. I don't know. It really didn't work for me on rewatch. On my first watch, I think I was just able to turn my brain off and have fun watching it. But going into this rewatch, I kind of wanted to understand the film more. So I think I turned my brain on. And I think that's not what I'm supposed to do when watching this movie. And sorry to Nolan fans, but number 6 is also Dunkirk. I had to rewatch 3 Nolan films this month for my mom to finish up her Nolan films. Unfortunately, the 3 that she had left are his 3 worst movies. This used to be my last place, and I think Tenet's worse now. But Dunkirk has no story, no central character at least Platoon has a character to latch onto. You can root for Charlie Sheen. You can root for Willem Dafoe. You like those characters. Here, there's literally no character that I can even recall their name of. I don't know. Other than Tom Hardy, that's a stretch too. There's no character here that I'm just rooting for, really. This just feels like a documentary. Now, with that being said, looks gorgeous. And the final act is pretty damn good. I'll give you that. The last 30 minutes of the film, really solid stuff. Unfortunately, the first 2 acts really don't do anything for me. Yeah, again, sorry Nolan, 5 is going to be following. It's kind of just whatever. I feel very indifferent towards this movie. I think it's fine. It's decent. It shows off Nolan's potential and his, I think his strong suit as a filmmaker, that playing with the structure of films, playing with the character's perception of time and everything, playing with the audience's perception of time, but obviously not in the ridiculous way as it does in Tenet. But honestly, at the end of the day, there's really nothing here to bring me back in. When your characters' names are literally the man. Oh, no. His name is Bill. But in the credits, he's listed as the man, and then the woman in the movie is credited as woman. So the only redeeming part about this movie is honestly Cobb. I think he's a pretty interesting character, and he does a great job, moving the movie forward. But there really just isn't much here. All right, number 4, Hard 8. Yes, PTA, his worst movie, is better than all those Nolan movies. Sorry, just want to PTA, he's a better director. I'm sorry, he's better. My mom also had a few more PTA movies to knock off, so I watched them with her. And, if you've seen my PTA video, you would know that I actually put Inherent Vice below this one on a rewatch. It's actually flopped. Coming back to this, there actually just isn't much here either, kind of like Following. Although I do think there's more here than Following. John C. Reilly is so funny in this. He's so goofy, and I love him and his character, as well as Philip Baker Hall. Philip Baker Hall is also really good in this. His character may be a bit boring, but he's still interesting enough to keep my attention. I do like the way the film kind of builds up tension and suspense through the entire film, kind of leading to that final act with Samuel L. Jackson, who I think was pretty underused in the movie, all things considered. But at the end of the day, this kind of just is your typical like crime thriller movie. So, not much to say. Number 3, Inherent Vice. On rewatch, I think I actually connected to this movie just a little bit more now. I didn't love it. I still don't love it. I still think it's one of his weakest. But I think I just found myself getting invested in the story more because I found Doc to be a more memorable and more likable character than I remembered. Joaquin Phoenix, this actually might be one of my favorite Joaquin Phoenix performances. His facial expressions throughout the whole movie are so good. And this is definitely just PTA at his most fun. He's having such a fun time directing this. It's super vibrant, it's colorful. Sometimes I think the plot gets a little convoluted, and I think the script kind of suffers from that, but I still really enjoy it. Number 2, Licorice Pizza. Yeah, still in love with this movie. Still in love with it. I was really scared going into this rewatch because I loved it so much on my first watch. I was really scared that I wouldn't connect with it as much on a rewatch. But I think I connected with it even more on a rewatch, if I'm being honest with you. It's just such a great slice of life film. While yeah, I do think the central relationship is a little bit flawed. Obviously, the age gap is bad. I don't know if the movie addresses it as much as I think they should have. But honestly, I think if it was like Call Me By Your Name, where the central relationship here is the main focus of the movie, I think it would have been a problem. Fortunately, I don't think the central relationship here between Alana and Gary, I don't think it's the main centerpiece of the film. I think the main centerpiece of the film is just the two of these people trying to find fulfillment in any way. I mean, Gary with his career, with, what he's trying to pursue, his dreams. Alana is there, obviously, and obviously the relationship is big in the movie. But, Alana also has her dreams, her passions, her goals, because, she was working out of high school. And she starts to see this kid, this 15-year-old, who is doing these great things. So she tries to start to do great things. And watching her grow throughout the film, in my opinion, is what carries this movie. And also, dude, come on. Bradley Cooper in this, come on. But number 1 is Phantom Thread. Now, if you watched my PTA video, you would have seen that this actually ranked, towards the bottom. I think I put this 3rd to last. Which now I think I would put this 3rd to the top. On a rewatch, I was so much more invested in this film. I never thought it was boring. I was so invested in this. I was just waiting for the next thing to happen, waiting for the next line of dialogue, because holy crap, Vicky Krieps and Daniel Day-Lewis's chemistry here is unmatched. I also really like PTA's direction in this. He chooses to hold on to shots for so long, and I really like it. He knows exactly when to cut away. He knows exactly when to switch characters. He knows what he's doing here. He's very controlled with his filmmaking in this, and it was really engaging. It's also just gorgeous. There's so many great moments here. It's also really funny at times too. Its costume design is also just so good. If I had to complain about one thing, it would be the ending. I do think it's a little bit abrupt, honestly. But man, this was so much better on rewatch. Alrighty. I also watched pretty much every single Scorsese movie known to mankind. I am not going to talk about these because I have an entire video ranking all of Scorsese's movies, and I literally watched like 20. I watched like 20 Scorsese movies this month. So go watch the ranking video if you actually want my opinion on every single Scorsese movie and where I would rank them. And yeah, that is what I watched in August. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Uploads, you know, as I don't know why I'm saying this as if I don't upload slowly, but they probably won't be as frequent, as well as I'm trying to expand some of my videos to be a bit better in their quality and just like their scale. Like all of my like Geometry Dash and gaming videos are probably going to be pretty long, like my temple video. Like that's kind of what I want to do in the future. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe. Of course, if you want to, though. I'm not your dad. I don't really care. And I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.